Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to ASMR with Mr. Seamus. Today I'm gonna help you, 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 and you with your homework. I'm gonna help you proofread your English paper. But first, let's do some breathing. In through your nose, and out through your mouth. Okay, so we're reading. Let's take a look at your paper here. Let me pull it up. Okay. Free dinner. What is brilliance? Is it meaning and delight? I think you meant, is it meaning or delight? So I'm just gonna take that out of there. We'll put in or. If one were to digest a good meal at a restaurant, one would hope it is nutritious and delightful. However, we are dealing with the stories involved in Chaucer's Canteburytales. One good meal for another. Language, of course. Professor Riff, introduce Miller's Tale and the Wife Bath's Tale. Let me get my glasses. There we go. His enthusiasm and dictation of these stories was so brilliant, it makes his decision very hard to choose. The general prologue says that a free meal will be awarded to the storyteller with the most meaning and delight. 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 One could choose the Wife of Bath's story, which has plenty of meaning in relation to her own life, her struggles with love, and her lust for power. I think I'm gonna take out that comma and maybe put in, let's see. Okay. Just clean it up just a little bit. However, what it has in meaning or nutrition, it lacks in delight. The Wife of Bath stories may be something of a bran muffin in literary context. On the other hand, we have the Miller's Tale, which is rich in delight, yet much lighter in moral theme. This story we may relate to French toast. There is nutrition, some egg, some bread, and hopefully real maple syrup, but probably not the most nutritious choice. Okay. If I were at dinner and there were two choices, where one choice is a bran muffin and the other is French toast, I will certainly always choose French toast. The miller, or for this occasion, French toast, should be awarded the free dinner. We would hope that the free dinner is itself rich in meaning and delight. Something like steak tips, marinated and cooked medium rare, mashed potatoes, and glistening green peas. For dessert, upside down angel food cake with fresh fruit. Now, that is rich in nutrition and delight. We hope this establishment has this kind of fare, but we can't be certain. We can be certain, however, that the Miller's Tale is the winner. The Miller's Tale is sexy and is very entertaining. It also has the meaning which is intended for the reeve, specifically to feel as a cuckold. There's nothing more emasculating than being a cuckold. The word itself has such strong connotation to a man who cannot please his wife and somebody else has to. Someone who is obviously a superior lover. The miller first covers his bases. He says that he's drunk and can't be liable for the shamefully sexual and belligerent remarks in a Christian pilgrimage. Such sacrilege may be frowned upon the sober-minded. In quotations. But first I make a protestation that I am drunk. I know it by my sound, and therefore, if that I misspeak, or say, blame it on the ale of Southwark, I you pray, for I live a saint's life. Chaucer, Canteburytales, pages 30 to 35. The miller is a liar, and maybe even a drunken, cheating bastard. However, he knows how to tell a good tale. He also knows how to kill multiple birds with one stone. The alcohol may be loosening up the inhibitions of men, especially the pent-up sexual energy in the room. He knows this crowd. A giggle at a fart or two would also be appreciated. It looks like the word. We'll let it slide here. I could take out a comma or two. Take it out. The point of this story, however, is to establish dominance over the reeve. That is the reason this story is primarily about the betrayal of John the carpenter. Like the reeve, he is a fool and a lesser man. He is a man designed to be manipulated by others. He does, however, have a very beautiful wife. Not only is she beautiful, but young. Her flesh as ripe and supple as a juicy peach. A woman like this would be very difficult to keep away from young, potent men looking to ravish her. The tension exists among all characters in the lust for young Allison. In quotation, Fair was this young wife, and therewithal, as any weasel, her body gentle and small. A belt she wore of silk, and an apron as white as milk, and upon her loins was full of gore. Chaucer, Canteburytales, 125 to 130. At this moment, the miller would like everyone to know the object of his desire, and most likely the desire of many of the drunken men in these halls. John the carpenter obviously represents the reeve. However, Nicholas the clerk represents the miller. Your paper's looking really good so far. I've had to pluck a little bit, a few things, comma placements, some spelling, and some change up of some of the articles that you used. But so far it's looking good. Paper is strong. It's connecting to the thesis. I will continue. We know this analogy because Nicholas is the master manipulator, and he gets what he wants. He manipulates John by attacking his religious sense and tells him to build the tubs. In quotation, "Be well advised on that like night that we have been entered into ships aboard, that none of us will not speak a word, no clapping and no crying, but be in prayer, for it is God's commandment, thy wife and thy mote hang far apart." Chaucer, Canteburytales, 476 to 481. This man Nicholas will make a fool of John, and he will have fruit. This perception of the clerk is the perception the miller has of himself. He is the winner, and you can poke him in the ass, but he will still fart in your face. It will take much more to faze the miller in any way. Absalom represents everyone else competing for this meal. Absalom is the self-righteous dribble the miller has to listen to while he enjoys his ale. Absalom is the penitent Catholic who wants the pie but will fail because they are afraid of farting. The miller is really commentating on the entire scene with his tale, from his perspective, of course. Now, the wife of Bath is rich in meaning with her struggle. Her struggle is that she is confused between the perfection of Jesus and the perfection of her man, or the man she wishes to possess. This man, however, does not exist. In quotation, "Now, sir, avail ye reprieve me, et certes, sire, through noon auctorite, wherein no book, ye Gentiles of honor, saying that men should an old white down favor, and clep him fatter for your gentilesse, and authority shall I find as I guess." Chaucer, Canteburytales, 1212 to 1216. Now this story has great meaning, not only for the wife of Bath, but for justice of all women. However, rape and female domination are pleasurable to hear, and are by no means delightful topics. In fact, it is nutritious but very hard to digest. So we would have to be foolish to not go with the miller's tale or French toast. The miller's tale has more meaning than meets the eye. He may not be just French toast, but a full Irish breakfast, rashers, pudding, and all. The miller's tale has both meaning and delight. The farting and silly plot are easy on the palate and enjoyable to digest. The sexual tension, the idea of a young, ripe, pretty girl is very delightful indeed. But what's more, there is meaning in the subconscious of the miller unravels with this tale. The miller kills so many birds with the same stone. He identifies his perception of his self. He emasculates the reeve, and he defines where everyone else has gone wrong and why he's always right and a true champion. He also will be eating the free dinner on everyone else's dime. The alpha male, the procession leader, the successful businessman, the miller. I think you've done a very good job with this. Like I said, I've done some corrections here. I've made a few removals here, particularly with punctuation. But for the most part, I think you captured what Chaucer was trying to tell with his free meal, what he was trying to suggest. You had an understanding of the different meanings in the different Canteburytales. So I think since this has been peer reviewed, I think you're ready to submit it to Professor Griff. Thank you so much for joining me.